In the vast, sprawling expanse of the Imperium of Man, diverse threats lurk in every shadow. While the armies of the Imperium wage wars on countless fronts, subtler weapons are being silently deployed to confront equally insidious dangers. The Callidus Assassin, a master of stealth and misdirection, who embodies the art of deception and manipulation. This is one such weapon, taken from the Imperium of Man's diverse arsenal. As deadly as they are elusive, the Callidus Assassin comes from one of the temples of the Officio Assassinorum, each specialized in unique methods of delivering death. Where a Vindicator assassin strikes from a distance, a Callidus assassin weaves through a labyrinth of lies, infiltration, deception, and treachery, eliminating the enemies of the Emperor from within their own ranks, and creating terror and confusion while they're at it. Master impersonators and experts in the art of disguise, Callidus assassins are taught to infiltrate adversary organizations or specific places to foment strife and assassinate valuable targets, all in the name of extending the will of the Emperor of Mankind and tightening his inescapable grip across the galaxy. The journey to becoming a Callidus assassin is a treacherous path, as prospective candidates are selected for their adaptability, psychological resilience, and capacity for subterfuge. This rigorous selection process is merely the beginning of an intense and grueling training regimen that is designed to hone their physical abilities, enhance their mental strength, and instill the discipline and techniques of infiltration and impersonation to near perfection. The trainees go through innumerable tests, frequently competing against real or virtual adversaries in complex hollow simulations. They must learn to overcome not just psychological, but also physical challenges, conquering their deepest fears, getting to completely know their bodies, and developing their capacity for swift decision-making under extreme pressure. This rigorous training sharpens not only their physical prowess, but also their mental and psychological faculties. They are instructed in the art of mimicry, so they can imitate voices, mannerisms, and even thought processes, allowing them to assume any identity needed to accomplish their goal. But central to any Callidus assassin's repertoire is the use of polymorphine, a reactive drug that allows them to reshape their bodies at will. This is a highly coveted and uncommon substance, an exceptional biotechnology. The operatives can change their physical appearance after taking polymorphine, changing their physique to resemble that of other species or individuals. This, along with their extensive training, makes them very skilled infiltrators, able to get past security systems and remain undetected within the enemy ranks. It is important to note that the Callidus Temple is predominantly composed of female assassins. This is not due to any inherent bias or decree, but is rather a product of the peculiarities of their primary tool, polymorphine. The substance has shown to work more effectively with female physiology, and as a result, there is a much higher proportion of female assassins within its ranks, compared to the other temples of the Officio Assassinorum. But how does this extraordinary drug, known as polymorphine, work? We know that this rare substance, when ingested, reacts to the user's conscious and subconscious thoughts, enabling them to mimic other beings with uncanny accuracy. But it is not to be taken lightly. The use of polymorphine is said to be both a gift and a curse. While it allows unparalleled flexibility and infiltration, its use is incredibly demanding, requiring immense mental and physical discipline. And often, it takes a toll on the assassin's lifespan. There is a story that exemplifies the effective use of this rare substance. The stories and deeds of these operatives are highly confidential, and most of them are classified and shrouded in secrecy. But from millennia of operations throughout the galaxy, some fragmented tales make it into legend. It is said that a Callidus assassin was sent to steal away the firstborn infant of a dangerously self-centered planetary governor that was deviating far too much from what the Imperium expected of him. To carry out her mission, the Callidus assassin disguised herself as the infant's caretaker by widening her belly, her jaw, and her throat with the use of polymorphine, and swallowing the princeling whole. She walked past the elite palace guards without so much as a whisper of resistance. She carried the prize in her belly to her masters before regurgitating it whole, the princeling whimpering, but safe and healthy. Picked skull footage was then sent to the rebel governor, and it is well known that he then fell back into the imperial fold in less than a week. This example goes to show how timely and effective use of a Callidus assassin can turn the fate of an entire planet. With a single operative, the Imperium avoided going into armored conflict against a rebel world that would not only absorb much-needed military personnel, ammunitions, and resources in general, but would also damage and potentially destroy the world's infrastructure. While a Callidus assassin is certainly capable of delivering a swift and lethal strike to their target, their true power often lies in their ability to infiltrate, manipulate, and sow discord among the ranks of the enemy. Assassins of the Callidus Temple are not merely impersonators, but skilled tacticians, capable of turning the structures of power against themselves. Upon infiltrating a target organization, a Callidus assassin will carefully study the power dynamics at play, identifying key individuals and their roles within the enemy army or government structure. Using their polymorphine-enhanced abilities, they can assume the identities of these individuals, effectively positioning themselves in seats of authority. This could mean impersonating a high-ranking military officer, a trusted advisor, or even a respected spiritual leader. Once embedded, the assassin can manipulate the organization from within, issuing contradicting orders to sow confusion and disarray, spreading misinformation, or subtly undermining the enemy's strategic capabilities. They can create false intelligence reports to mislead them, leading them into traps or diverting their resources away from crucial battlefronts. The next story is one prime example of those disruptive capabilities put into action. It is said that Hetman Gretch of the 593rd Cadaveran Tigers became so incensed at constantly being interrupted by the tactical auto-reliquary of Tiberius that he deactivated the device with a strike of his ceremonial mace. This act of irreverence was the first step in a rebellion that would see not only the 593rd, but the entirety of the Cadaveran Tigers turn against the Imperium of Man. A Callidus assassin was then sent to infiltrate Gretch's advisor corps, assuming the identity of his eyeless astropath, before killing the traitorous commander and assuming his position. When the rebellious Cadaveran Tigers opened hostilities against the Cadian 342nd, their orders suddenly became contradictory and counterintuitive.
Requesting artillery on the 19 grid line.
And when the command staff was obliterated by an artillery strike, called down upon their own position, the entire war effort of the rebels broke into pieces. The Cadaveran Tigers, with their forces decimated within the hour, quickly saw the error of their ways and submitted themselves for a regiment-wide court-martial. Although the tactical auto-reliquary was recovered and later repaired, the rebels were all found guilty and summarily executed. After infiltrating an enemy organization, positioning themselves within its hierarchy, and sowing seeds of discord, a Callidus assassin prepares for the final phase of their mission, the strike. The strike isn't merely an act of killing. It is a precision move, a lethal punctuation to the elaborate dance of chaos the assassin has been orchestrating. The strike often happens when the enemy is at its most vulnerable, ensnared in a web of confusion and conflict, their strength diminished, their defenses compromised. This is when a Callidus assassin reveals their true identity and moves in for the kill. The attack of an assassin is rapid, brutal, and precise. Frequently, their victims are designated for death, but are unaware of it until it is far too late. Many of the Emperor's opponents only notice the final few things, such as a sudden twist in a trusted advisor's face, the gleam of a Catan phase sword in the dim light, or the terrifying sensation of a neural shredder activated. This is the moment when the silent whispers become screaming, echoing chaos. The shadows take form, and the unseen threat strikes with deadly force. In this chaotic climax, the Callidus assassin executes the Emperor's judgment with chilling precision. And after the deed is done, they slip away, leaving behind a trail of confusion and fear. To complete their missions, the Callidus assassins are equipped with a unique and deadly array of war gear, each piece designed to augment their infiltration capabilities or add to their lethal arsenal. Apart from the exotic drug, polymorphine, which we have discussed earlier, the operators also have at their disposal their signature weapons, the Catan phase sword. The sword is a relic of unimaginable antiquity. This weapon is the result of excavations made millennia ago on Mars by the Adeptus Mechanicus, which unearthed various artifacts made of incredibly sophisticated alien technology. But of the identity of their creators, the mysterious Catan and their Necron servants, there was not a trace. The Fey Sword's blade is unique in that it can phase in and out of real space by realigning its molecules. In this manner, the blade can effortlessly pass through any form of defense, including force fields, and even the toughest armors known to the Imperium, disrupting and severing the molecular bonds of the matter it comes into contact with. The Neural Shredder is a brutal and efficient weapon, wielded by the Callidus assassins. Even though it is a close-range weapon, when activated, it emits a blast of psychosonic energy that targets the neural pathways of the victim. When Callidus assassins are trained in the use of a variety of weaponry, their proficiency with poisoned blades is particularly noteworthy. These blades, concealed within the assassin's specialized suits, are coated with a wide array of toxins that are as diverse as they are deadly. The poisons used might be chosen for the speed at which it kills their victim, how quietly it dispatches the victim, or simply their ability to mimic natural causes of death. It is said by some that the Callidus assassins have been known to use the infamous death cards. These are subtle tools used to instill terror. The operatives will often place these so-called death cards on the corpses of those they have slain, slipped between stiff, dead fingers or gritted teeth of their victims. The card would flash to life when coming into contact with living tissue. In that moment, in addition to playing a looping audio of the victim's agonizing screams, they broadcast a hololith of the victim's face in the instants before death. One of the most renowned Callidus assassins in the annals of the Imperium's history is undoubtedly Shen. She is the only mortal to have ever managed to successfully kill a Primarch. The Primarch in question is Conrad Kurz, also known as the Night Haunter, the gene sire of the Night Lord's traitor legion. Conrad Kurz, one of the 20 sons of the Emperor, had fallen during the Horus Heresy, taking his legion down with him. Notorious for his brutal methods and his fall into madness, the Primarch had long abandoned the ideals of the Emperor and had become a significant threat to the Imperium. The operative Shen was selected for the task of eliminating this formidable enemy. She managed to locate Conrad Kurz in the carrion world of Sugwalsa, in the eastern fringe of the galaxy, and utilizing her skills of infiltration, she managed to bypass the defenses of the Primarch's fortress. The powerful, yet corrupted Night Haunter certainly foresaw the assassination attempt, due to his extraordinary foresight, and yet he had made no preparation to protect himself against his approaching killer. Since the assassin encountered no guards between her and the Night Haunter's throne room, it was assumed that she was permitted to enter the Primarch's palace. When confronted by the Callidus assassin, Conrad Kurz said his iconic last words, confirmed later by the video log of the operative. "Your presence does not surprise me, assassin. I have known of you ever since your craft entered the eastern fringes. Why did I not have you killed? Because your mission and the act you are about to commit proves the truth of all I have ever said or done. I merely punished those who had wronged, just as your false emperor now seeks to punish me. Death is nothing compared to vindication." To this day, it is believed the Primarch allowed himself to be killed, to vindicate his decision to rebel against the Emperor. And because, while he believed his actions had been right, he knew they also damned him. Still, her accomplishment remains one of the most legendary feats in the history of the Officio Assassinorum, solidifying the deadly reputation of the Callidus Temple. Another famous story from the Callidus Temple is when the petite but fearsome Callidus assassin, Militia Scarvelli, infiltrated Big Mech Oil Guzzler's workshops in the guise of a Gretchen slave creature. Just as Oil Guzzler launched his Death Dread horde at the Space Marines protecting Hive Imperator, Scarvelli recovered her phase sword from its hiding place in a nearby stack of scrap metal and swiftly attacked the Big Mech. Though it took her almost a full minute to do so, she hacked the Big Mech into fist-sized chunks before overloading his force field generator and bringing the stomping advance of the Death Dread mobs to a grinding halt. With a well-placed strike, the Officio Assassinorum had once again stopped a dire menace in their tracks, before they could become a much bigger problem. Every assassin of the Callidus Temple is a master of disguise, a skilled infiltrator, and a deadly weapon at the disposal of the Imperium. They are all united in their singular purpose: to be the hidden blade of the Emperor, striking at the heart of the enemy, when and where they least expect. On this channel, we are putting together narrative Total War cinematic battles and Warhammer lore videos. A special thank you goes to our Patreon supporters who help us in the making of more content. You can also join Patreon and earn extra perks while supporting the videos to come. Find the link in the description below. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.